Hey Run Junkies, recently I've decided to make a few changes and shake things up a little bit in my training regimen. And one of the things I'm gonna do this summer is just tackle a bunch of 5Ks and try to get those up to speed and see if I can't really do some fast 5Ks and 10Ks this summer. The other thing I'm going to do, and a couple of you guessed this, is that I am getting back into triathlon. Now maybe you knew this about me and maybe you didn't, but I wasn't always exclusively a runner. Half marathons, marathons, all of that wasn't really my thing. I really enjoyed triathlon. I got into running from Multisport, from triathlon. And I got into triathlon originally from swimming. I grew up as a swimmer. My early years as an athlete were spent swimming, biking, and running my way into fitness. However, I haven't completed a triathlon since June of 2015 when I did Ironman Coeur d'Alene. And I thought this might just be a good time to do something different, shake things up a little bit, and get back into triathlon. But because it's been so long since I've done a triathlon, I am approaching this training cycle as kind of a well-educated novice, if you will. I know how to participate and race in triathlon, but it's been a long time since I've actually put a bunch of sports together in a single day and within a single training cycle, and it's been a long time since I've been swimming or cycling out on the road. So I'm inviting you to follow me on this journey back to triathlon. Maybe you've signed up for a triathlon and you have no idea what you've gotten yourself into. Maybe it's your first time, or maybe it's your first time in a new distance. Maybe you've taken a break like I did and are trying to get back into it. So please subscribe, follow along with me, leave questions and comments in the comment section down below, and I can kind of cover those as I go through this summer series. So every Thursday I will talk specifically about triathlon and probably focus it down even more into the specific disciplines throughout triathlon. So the swim, the bike, and the run, and then maybe a couple of added things like gear, how to train for it, and how to train for that first sprint triathlon. Now let me tell you my goal. I am re-entering this world with a sprint distance triathlon, the Outdoor Divas women's triathlon on August 18th. Now a sprint tri is roughly a half-mile swim, a 13 to 17 mile bike, and a 5K run. Many novice athletes with a modicum of fitness can train for a sprint triathlon in 3 to 4 months, or basically over the course of one season. The sprint triathlon is one of the shortest official distances recognized by the triathlon community, but you can find shorter distances, mini events, maybe through your fitness center, or recreation center, or local training groups. So why on earth would you train for a triathlon? What makes it worth it? The advantage of triathlon that I have always enjoyed, and one of those things that just kept me coming back year after year in triathlon, is you automatically have cross training. It's 3 different sports, 3 different disciplines using 3 different sets of muscles from workout to workout. It makes it easier to train more frequently at higher intensities than you would if you were just in a single sport like running. All of those overuse injuries don't have the time to accumulate because from one day to the next, you are training a different group of muscles. Another reason I enjoy triathlon is because it can be so attainable for basically any novice athlete. My first triathlon back in 2004 was the Danskin Women's Triathlon, which at the time was the premier women's only event. The Danskin series brought so many women into the sport of triathlon, which at the time was highly competitive and actually quite intimidating. Triathlon as an endurance sport, just like the running community, has seen an explosion in participation over the last 2 to 3 decades. And many triathlon groups now have online social media presence and training groups either in social media, or you can find local training groups in real life. Another thing that took some getting used to coming out of triathlon into the running community is how much bigger running events are as opposed to triathlons. Even the big premier triathlon events have maybe 2,000 people in it. But when you go into a huge running event, you could be running with 10,000 people. The Outdoor Divas women's triathlon that I was telling you about, the one I will be doing in August, has a cap of 600 women. That's it. That's how big this race is. The last advantage that I want to tell you about in triathlon is the variety of training. It's so easy to keep yourself engaged and motivated because you do have 3 different sports from which to choose on any given day. Unlike the sport of running where you just go out and you go running. again and again and again and again, mile after mile, there's more variety within triathlon, and it gives you something to work on. It helps you find your weaknesses and build on those weaknesses and make you stronger in those areas rather than in one specific area. You have more options, more flexibility to work around your schedule and your life circumstances, whether it's weather and you have inclement weather so you can't go out for a bike ride, maybe you go to the indoor pool, or maybe it's a beautiful day and you don't really have time for a swim before you go out, so you go for a run. That flexibility and variety really helps break up the boredom and keep things motivating and exciting throughout the training cycle. And training for a sprint triathlon like this short one that I will be doing in August doesn't take up much more time than what I'm already doing. In fact, it may take up less time throughout the week. So if you are looking for a triathlon near you, I've left links to a few resources in the description below, such as TriFind, which is a searchable database for triathlons nationwide and I believe worldwide. You can check that out. You might also check your local recreation or fitness center for some of these smaller mini events. So coming up every Thursday in the month of May, we will talk a brief introduction into each of the 3 sports, which is the swim, the bike, and the run. And then the last Thursday in May, we will talk about transition, which is an art in and of itself. The bottom line is this. Doing a triathlon for the first time, you might balk at the idea. You might just say, I don't know. On the surface, it looks intimidating. It looks like there's so many barriers to entry. What about swimming? I'm not comfortable in the water. I don't have a good bike. I'm slow as a runner. Whatever those barriers are, stop. Just stop. Because really, once you give it a try, take one season, just a few months, and give it a shot, you might just find the sustainable challenge you were looking for. My question for you today is this. Have you ever done a triathlon? And if not, what do you think about giving it a try for the first time? Please let me know in the comment section down below, as well as any questions you might have about the swim, the bike, the run, the transition, the gear, anything. Please leave those in the comments and I will do my best to answer those as we go through the summer. Next Thursday, we are diving right in with the swim leg. Yes, I went there. So please subscribe if you haven't already and hit that thumbs up if you like this video. I really hope you join me on this particular phase of my journey. I'm looking forward to this summer, but that's gonna be it for me today, you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Go find your awesome, and until next time, happy running and swimming and biking.